Good, John. How are you?
I'm doing good. Thanks for asking. So, Mark, we're going to be talking about today of your role in the film The Sound. Just starting off the bat, what got caught your interest in being part of this project?
Well, it was the climbing aspect that did it for me because I've been climbing for like 10 years. And it's a dream as an actor to be able to combine the thing you actually love with doing it on a set. It's like you never think it's gonna happen. You're never, it's just like such a foreign idea of like, oh, I could do both. There's no way. So the fact that it was a climbing film and that the climbing was going to be given a lot of attention and that it was going to be realistic, high quality climbing with a whole climbing staff in charge of that instead of just some like Hollywood like, oh yeah, well there will be on a wall and we'll like cheat it somehow was really exciting to me.
Now going off on that, when I had my interview with Brendan, the director and the writer, he did gave us a small explanation how he made it feels so real, and he did mention that there were like professional climbers as well in certain portions of the film. Did you get to climb on the film, being the fact that it's something that you do on the side as well?
Yeah, I was climbing in the film, obviously, in all the scenes in the film. And then I was climbing on the side as well because we shot in Vegas, and Vegas is like the mecca of American climbing. It's one of the greatest climbing destinations in the world. I don't think a lot of people know that, but there's a ton of rock out there and it's all super high quality. So I did a few climbing days in outside in Vegas, but it was also really hot. So, and I didn't want to get injured. There was a whole stipulation about me not like actually doing any too intense climbing for risk of injury. So I climbed a lot at a gym, basically almost every day, which was sort of foolish. I injured my fingers with like it's like a whole overuse type injury that I gave myself because of how just stoked I was to be out there and climbing.
What was it? What got your interest in your character, Sean?
I would say it was sort of that opportunity to enter into the psychology of a person that free solos. My character is a free soloist. For anyone that doesn't know, that's the form of climbing that involves no ropes, no protection whatsoever. Alex Honnold is very famous for it. The film about it, free solo documentary, won an Oscar. And that to me is like one of the psychologically most interesting things that a person can do. Um, it's not something that I would do personally, at the scale that Honnold has done it, just because of my regard for my own life. I don't know. Like, I don't know how to, but it's fascinating. It's like I think that really elevates climbing to something beyond a sport, is there is that risk factor that you have to contend with, and there is a fear management aspect to it. And so as a person that would never really solo seriously, but I've talked to soloists, I've been around free soloists, I've heard stories of free soloing. It's sort of this like mythical thing in the climbing world. And so the opportunity to portray that and imagine what it would actually be like for me was an awesome exercise as an actor.
How was the chemistry between yourself and the rest of the cast, and as well your chemistry with Brendan?
The cast and I, we all had a fantastic relationship because of the fact, for one thing, that it shot outside. It felt like a big, fun camping trip for all of us. We were out in nature, and we all have backgrounds in nature and climbing and getting outside and adventure sports. And so it felt like just a big giant, like I said, camping trip, fun time outside spent together. And we also had just the commonality of having this love for climbing and getting outside, and the shared hobby just kind of made us instantly gel. There was no awkwardness. It was just like day one when we were driving a set, everybody was friends, like almost instantly. It was really great, and we still are to this day. And with Brendan, I have a great respect for Brendan because of how sort of big of an undertaking this was to realistically portray climbing in a way that's also narratively and cinematically interesting. Very complicated thing to do, and he just handled that so gracefully. It didn't really seem like he was ever struggling. If he was, he didn't make it known to us. He was incredibly calm and even keeled and funny too. The dude's hilarious. He's just like constantly cracking jokes and making sure that everybody has a good time, which is really a great quality for a director to have. And he's the man. I have a lot of respect for him and I like him very much. And I hope we work together again.
Is there any like fond memory that you have that happened in set?
Yeah, actually, this is one. So one of my favorite days on set was, I think the second or third day we were outside and the sun had set and they were setting up a very complicated shot because they were trying to get moonlight, which apparently is really, really hard to do. And so they were setting up for like 2, 3 hours, and I was actually in my trailer speaking with Wayne, who plays what his name's Wayne Baker. He's an excellent actor from Canada who plays Chief Guy Eustis in the film. And we talked for just like 3 hours straight in our trailer, and he just sort of like told me the story of his life, and I was telling him the story of my life, and we were talking about acting, and it's just a very simple day. We just sat there and talked, but it's a great memory.
That's amazing. Do you think that if by any chance, in my previous conversation with Brendan, he did spoke about probably touching bases again with the story, but as a prequel aspect. Will you be interested in like being part of like that prequel film to explain the entity that hunts all of you in the movie?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
That's amazing. And wanted to ask because I'm very interested. What catches your attention to do a rock climbing? Being something I would say that I know that there are other type of sports that probably are much more dangerous, but what caught your attention to persuade this hobby of rock climbing?
Rock climbing is really unique to me because it combines so many elements of what can make a sport attractive. There's a strength and power element where you need to physically change your body, like your tendons need to physically get stronger. There's a skill element where it's almost like dancing, where you really have to develop this kinesthetic awareness of your body and how you move, and those are constantly at play, and you can kind of endlessly improve both, which is just like fantastic. As a The potential there is limitless. And then it also, going back to the free solo conversation, there's an element of fear management that's really profoundly rewarding. Like if you are looking at a climb and you think, wow, that's that's terrifying. I could fall there and that'll be a big fall. I won't necessarily get hurt because you're tied in, and if you're being safe, you won't get hurt. But that moment of hesitation of like, that's terrifying, but I know I can do it, so I'm gonna attempt it. Overcoming that fear is just like the most rewarding thing ever. Like I've had weekends where I climb some project that I've been working on for a long time, and I'm afraid on the day. I'm full of like doubt and hesitation, but I'm like, all right, I'm gonna do it anyway. The the glow after of having done that will last like a whole week. I'll just spend the whole week happy because I did this thing that was really hard and terrifying. So
Okay. Thank you very much, Mark. To have a moment to talk about the sound and as well on your rock climbing experience and hobbies. Thank you very much for your time.
thank you, John. Appreciate it.